ECOWAS heads of state set for extraordinary summit in Burkina Faso. Federal government recommits to paying national minimum wage. Nigeria launches drug control program. Hello and thank you for joining us on Panorama. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. President Buhari is expected to depart Abuja on Saturday for a one-day ECOWAS heads of state and government extraordinary summit on counter-terrorism in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Special advisor to the president, media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says the meeting is to tackle the growing threat of terrorism in the sub-region and also to review different initiatives taken so far towards redefining intervention technique. President Buhari is expected to be accompanied by governors Abubakar Bello, Dakpo Abiodun, and Okeze Ipiazu of Niger, Ogun, and Abia states respectively, as well as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, and the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashiru Magashi, retired. Also on the president's entourage are the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongono, retired, and Director General, National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar. The president is expected back in Abuja at the end of the summit. President Muhammadu Buhari says the federal government has no intention whatsoever to inflict additional hardship on Nigerians as it implements the next level agenda for sustainable future of the country. Receiving in audience the newly elected executive members of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, the president restated commitment to paying the new minimum wage as well as lifting millions of Nigeria out of poverty. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Solidarity forever. Singing solidarity forever.
Another show of solidarity to President Muhammadu Buhari by members of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. Led by their newly elected president, Kadri Olaleye, the TUC members are here to, amongst others, appreciate the government for carrying along the labor unions towards the implementation of its people-centered policies and programs.
Your Excellency, we want to appreciate you for success recorded so far on African Continental Free Trade Agreements. We want to appreciate you for the IGR increase. We want to appreciate you on the infrastructural improvements which cut across all the zones. We also want to appreciate you on the step you have taken so far on the xenophobia issue in South Africa. Also, we want to appreciate you on the P and high D 9.6 billion case. We commend your efforts in liberating the northeast region of the country from the hands of dreaded terrorist group Boko Haram. We appreciate that every day and night you keep on improving on whatever you have achieved.
While reiterating the commitment and determination of the TUC towards supporting his administration's genuine efforts at achieving a greater Nigeria, Mr. Olaleye, however, wants the president to do more on the economy, poverty eradication, and the implementation of the new minimum wage. President Muhammadu Buhari appreciated the concerns of the labor unions over the challenges confronting Nigeria, which he, however, said were inherited by his administration, having been left unattended to for years, thereby leaving the country in a mired state. He expressed the belief that the organized labor can now testify to have seen and experienced what have been put in place in a pragmatic manner to make Nigeria better.
We secured the nation's territorial integrity and continue to protect the lives and properties of our citizens. We introduce various economic stimulus packages that support businesses and traders at all levels, promoted backward integration programs, especially in the agricultural sector, to enhance our food security while creating jobs. We embarked on the most ambitious infrastructure development and rehabilitation project this country has seen in decades. We also introduced the largest social investment program in sub-Saharan Africa.
The full impact of these programs, President Buhari, however, said are still to come, and in the next 4 years, the momentum will be sustained until millions of Nigerians are lifted out of poverty.
I want to assure you that as an administration, we have no intention of inflicting any additional hardship on Nigerians. The federal government remains committed to paying the new minimum wage.
Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngige gives further details on the minimum wage issue.
Government is desirous, and as a matter of fact, tomorrow we are having what is called Presidential Committee on Salaries, PCS, launched in the office of the Minister of Finance. And that committee will immediately swing into action and take the report of the government team and then process it for National Salaries and Wages Commission to implement.
The new national minimum wage was signed into law on the 18th of April this year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The National Wash Action Plan is setting in motion as the World Bank has offered to support the implementation of the proposed sustainable rural water supply and sanitation projects in Nigeria. Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu gave the cheering news in Abuja at the first National Stakeholders Consultation Workshop on Nigeria Rural Wash Project. Musbah Wahab reports.
It's now properly documented. The chunk of the 57 million Nigerians who lack access to safe water and the 130 million using unimproved sanitation are in the rural areas of the country. This World Bank report on Nigeria's rural wash services, access and sustainability captures the reality and shows the primary bottlenecks that must be addressed to fix the sector. Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu maintains that this is what the Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, PWASH, set out to achieve, with the possibility of 100% coverage even before the SDGs deadline of 2030. Federal government and development partners are strengthening the tie, and the result is imminent.
The World Bank has graciously considered our request and is preparing a project in support of the PWASH program with an investment worth $350 million to deliver sustainable and safe water and sanitation to millions of Nigerians.
Programs that we support are not going to be aimed at reaching thousands. They have to reach millions to make a difference.
But then, for state government to also benefit from the credit facility and other assistance, there are criteria to be met.
State government must look at their situation, assess where they are currently.
In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Nigerians have continued to congratulate the All Progressives Congress APC on the verdict by the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal in the 2019 presidential election. They also commended President Buhari for reappointing the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola. Bosede Ebel has the story.
The purpose of the visit of the Good Governance Ambassadors of Nigeria, Gogan, and the South-South Chamber of Commerce States of Nigeria is to identify with office holders who are models of good governance and to commend their contribution to nation building. They, however, appeal to the federal government to improve on infrastructural development.
Our motto is ensuring good governance in all the nook and cranny of the Federation. Growth in one region will definitely affect the other regions in terms of job creation and economic impact.
The minister, who expressed appreciation for the visit, said their demands is in line with the policy of the present administration in areas of rule of law, transparency, accountability and citizens' participation.
Without peace too, there will be no construction. Even if we had money and produced all the oil, if people feel unsafe, they won't come and work in that region. So it's important for the South, for Nigeria, everybody, for there to be peace.
Some of the completed projects was reeled out and urged members of the groups to support government's efforts in the next level agenda.
Very insightful information that he gave to us.
It's going to help in ensuring that the impact of this government is actually felt across Nigeria.
It is hoped that
challenge when he received members of the Council of Computer Professionals Registration of Nigeria and the Council of Nigeria Computer Society in his office. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports.
In its 2019 second quarter report, the National Bureau of Statistics indicated that the contribution of information technology to the GDP has overtaken that of oil by a significant margin. That underpins the giant stride made in the sector, which the Minister of Communications is still working to ensure that Nigeria remains relevant in the ICT world. The two professional bodies, membership of which the minister belongs, which came calling to identify with one of their own, describe him as an achiever, especially in the National Information and Technology Development Agency, NITDA, where he left an indelible mark. The minister disagreed, insisting that any success recorded was as a result of teamwork, which is the secret, soliciting same and more from all.
With the immediate short targets I have given to the parastatals under the ministry, the NCC immediately discovered through preliminary investigation, we have around 9 million people that are using unregistered, pre-registered SIM and the rest. This cannot be tolerated because these are the SIMs that are being used to commit crimes. And I immediately directed them. They should make sure these numbers are either registered immediately or blocked immediately.
The ministry has already set a monthly target for all its parastatals, which is said must be made. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
The federal government says it is taking up measures that would lead to lowering the cost of locally made products, at the same time profitable to manufacturers. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this at the launch of the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic for Viable Enterprises in Birnin Kebbi. The Vice President was received on arrival at the state by Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, top government officials and the Chairman Council of Chiefs Muhammad Ilyasu Bashir. Emir of Gwandu. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the Vice President was accompanied by representatives of relevant MDS.
The Vice President says he has seen more than 400,000 micro, small and medium enterprises operators across the country since the inception of the clinic. The people, he says, have great potentials, and with support, they are ready to do even more.
Yeah, very impressed. Very impressed. A lot of very interesting things. People obviously are very productive. One of the key issues is how to make sure that these things get to the market and at a price that is affordable and that can make profit for them. So we're here, as you know, with NAFDAC, with SON, with all of the regulatory people. So they see for themselves what the issues are and why there's a need for us to have prices, especially costs of registration, at prices that make sense for the people.
Government, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo explains, is embarking on creating 37 clusters, one in each state, he says, which micro, small and medium enterprises operators can benefit from. Kebbi State, for example, will have fish processing facility.
We have the MSME Bank of Industry Fund. This is to just ease access to business funding. So the whole idea is that we want to provide funding for businesses at an accessible rate.
The government have also built a center for us in Zuru, my cooperative, and have also equipped us with share processing machines. We so much appreciate the federal government.
The micro, small and medium enterprises operators in the state, as Governor Abubakar Bagudu says, are gearing up to explore the market created by the African Free Trade Zone, and the state, it says, is equally providing necessary support.
What we want to take them to is where they can borrow billions of naira on their own account, on their own processes. And I believe with the results and successes that we have seen, we believe we are on our way there.
The impact is good because what happens is that all the agencies are present here today. And so even as we're going around today, the traders were asking questions to different.
Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thank you for rejoining us on Panorama. Now to politics. The list of nominated candidates for the governorship elections in Kogi and Bayelsa State will be published Friday, September 13th. How many candidates made the list? Mia Ogidi is following up developments from the INEC head office in Abuja.
Having a better political contest and not a bitter one is the target of INEC in Kogi and Bayelsa states. Party primaries are over. Excellent performance, INEC says.
We are yet to receive any report in relation to the conduct of any of the party primary elections.
A smooth contest that produced 52 candidates to vie for the number 1 seat in Bayelsa State, while 49 for Kogi State. These political parties beat the 9th September 2019 deadline in the submission of their candidates. However, INEC, in a statement on Thursday, 12th of September 2019, says some of the governorship and deputy governorship candidates are below the minimum age prescribed by the Constitution for these positions. The Commission will notify the concerned parties soon and subsequently consider further action. End of quote. Be that as it may, Friday 13th of September 2019, personal credentials of the nominated candidates will be displayed at the INEC state offices in Lokoja and Yenegua. INEC gives great premiership to campaigns.
Our plea is that political parties should conduct their campaigns with some level of civility.
Even after the contest in November 16, 2019, INEC insists winners should be humble in victory and losers be gracious in defeat, because that is the only way to avoid post-electoral violence in the country. Mayor Ogidi, NT News.
With the task ahead of the newly created Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in tackling humanitarian crises in the country, it will require not only internal but also external support to meet global
This was the question posed during this retreat, targeted to seek technical support in order to establish a strong structure for the ministry.
Presently, the ministry is developing its internal structure based on international best practices and considering available technical expertise you have to offer. We are requesting from you technical assistance and support.
These experts are of the opinion that the timeline of strategic plan is critical, which can be achieved through a sustainable coordination, coherence and collaboration.
Wherein the government is putting in place an institutional framework to take care of the issues of humanitarian concerns in the country.
So we believe that it's good to support the government in any country that we work in, to have one umbrella, to have one humanitarian affairs ministry.
The expectation here is to strengthen ongoing partnerships for the prevention, mitigation and response of humanitarian disaster to meet global best practices. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Over 1,000 Nigerians have been registered for evacuation from South Africa due to xenophobic attack on Africans in that country. Nigeria's Consul General in South Africa, Godwin Adama, who revealed this on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, confirms that though no fresh attack has been reported, but there are indications of threats on Nigerians still in South Africa. Oluseyi Adebo has details.
With 187 Nigerians already received in the country from South Africa, Nigeria's Consul General in South Africa, Godwin Adama, says the High Commission is witnessing daily increase of Nigerians willing to return to the country as the process for the next batch of returnees is on course. Godwin Adama, who was speaking via Skype, regrets some hitches experienced during the evacuation of the first batch, reassuring Nigerians that the issues will be addressed in the next.
The next operation is not going to have much friction because we have already met with the protocol team, the police, and also the immigration team. We have set up a particular forum now. I gave them an officer who is liaising with them.
Other guests on the program described the xenophobic attack as a blow to Africa's unity and growth, encouraging the Nigerian returnees to be proud of their country.
Xenophobia, in the larger context, could be regarded as a distraction. It distracts the leading giant economies of Africa, Nigeria and South Africa.
The motivation there was to save our people, to do something that others will look at and say, okay, this is going to bond the country.
They called for more volunteers that will help in the evacuation process.
There's so much that we can do as Nigerians. You don't have to have an aircraft to put it out there, but you could do something to support the businesses of the people coming.
We've also had some offers from some psychologists and some counselors who have offered to come and join in the integration process of these returnees.
Appreciating the federal government's commitment for the level of maturity and the due process deployed in actualizing the evacuation, the guests also commended other concerned bodies for their act of patriotism.
It has the primary responsibility of checking corrupt practices in public service as well as ensuring public officers comply with code of conduct. For the chairman of this agency, Professor Mohammed Isa, there is a need to step up awareness campaign to educate Nigerians of the importance of these rules. Soliciting for partnership with NTA, the chairman says that will create huge impact considering NTA's wide coverage and professionalism.
Only thing that is known to public officers, mostly almost over 90%, in relation to code of conduct, that is administration of asset declaration. But beyond that, we have over 14 code of conduct for public officers.
Professor Mohammed Isa called on public officers to adopt transparent and best practices in their work. For the Director General NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, NTA is rightly positioned to create the necessary awareness needed, which he says will go a long way in reorienting the minds of Nigerians. With this partnership between CCB and NTA, Nigerians' anti-corruption crusade, it is believed, will be further strengthened. Oyinda Kaloka, NTA News.
And that concludes Panorama. Thank you for watching. I am Nolin Ebel Ame.